Hello again. In the Gospels there are 3 accounts of Jesus walking on the water, all after the feeding of the 5,000, but only one mentions Peter walking on the water. If you have your Bible, you might like to turn to Matthew chapter 14, verses 22 to 31. As I was reading this, 2 verses stood out, verse 22 and verse 31. Verse 22 says, "Immediately Jesus made the disciples get into the boat and go ahead of him to the other side." And verse 31 says, "Why did you doubt?" Or as the Passion Translation translates it, "Why would you let doubt win?" So I just want to think about these 2 verses for a minute. The first one, verse 22. Immediately Jesus made the disciples get into the boat and go ahead of him to the other side. Immediately. The crowd had not even gone. And Jesus said, I'll send them on their way, you go too. Jesus made the disciples get into the boat. There was an urgency about it. Like it was something they needed to do that couldn't wait. I mean, if you've ever organised a surprise for someone, you can't wait till they experience that surprise. And you do whatever you can to hurry that up for them. And to me it feels a bit like that, as if Jesus couldn't wait for them to get into the boat. Like he knew a lesson was waiting for them, so he sent them on their way to learn this lesson and promised he would join them later, which they accepted without question. Now, if you've ever seen the Sea of Galilee, you'll know it is enormous. Brian and I had the amazing opportunity of sailing on the Sea of Galilee last year. And because it's so big, it's a long way around to the other side where Jesus was sending the disciples. And yet there was no question from them as to how Jesus was going to get there. They'd just seen Jesus feed over 5,000 people with the young boy's lunch. And based on that and other events that they'd been witness to, they probably just accepted that this was an all in a day's work for Jesus. No drama. If Jesus said he would do it, then he would. One thing we learn from this verse is that God knows what's ahead of us. In Psalm 139 verse 16 we read these words, "All the days ordained for me were written in your book before one of them came to be." So as we go into each day, we can have the confidence that even though we may be surprised or shocked, as the disciples were that night, God never is. He says to us, no matter what awaits you, I've got it under control, and I'll turn up to help you. The other verse I'd like to highlight is verse 31 and the Passion Translation. Why would you let doubt win? This was a question Jesus posed to Peter. Now, Peter was a seasoned fisherman. The Sea of Galilee was his home away from home. Fishing here day and night was his life and livelihood. Storms he was used to. He had the skills and the experience to navigate and survive that. What Peter could not navigate was being out of the safety of the boat, even on a storm-tossed ocean. And Jesus rebuked him for this. Why would you let doubt win? It's like he was saying to Peter, I've been with you through every day and experience up to now. Why is tonight so different? Jesus' question to Peter reminds us that fear and doubt are always lurking in the corner to defeat us. The fact that Peter started to sink into the sea was evidence that he had chosen at that minute to invite doubt and fear into that space. Faith and doubt are both there waiting to be invited into each space of challenge, change, or uncertainty that we face. They need invitations, and we invite them. The Bible reminds us God has not given us a spirit of fear, but of power, love, and self-control. We have the power and the self-control available through the Holy Spirit to refuse to fear, to lock fear out of that space and invite faith in. God will always turn up if we invite faith in, and faith will always win the battle. Have a great week. Bye.